as of February 2026 on how the Senate is going to go this November. So I'm going to get into it with saying that this is how our ratings go. This is pretty normal along the election community. I'm going to use the Democrats example. You see there's 4 different colors. That is safe, lean, likely, lean, and tilt. Safe would be anything over 15 points. Likely would be 5 to 15. Lean would be 1 to 5. And tilt would be 0 to 1. And so we're going to start off here with the Democrats, and we're going to say the states that we think they're going to get at least 15% of the vote. So given the national, how it's going, the news and stuff, normally I would characterize Oregon as a likely state. Given how it's going, I'm going to say it's going to be safe. I'm going to say the same thing about Colorado, Illinois, Virginia. I'm a little more towards likely, but after what we saw with Abigail Spanberger, but then again, they're pushing that redistricting effort. A lot of people in the state don't like it. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down to likely. So I think it's on the cusp, though, but I'm just going to leave it there for right now. Delaware, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. And for the Republicans, I'm going to do Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. And you might see some of those on there and you're like, that's weird. Just hear me out. And so now we're going back to Democrats with states between 5 to 15%. New Mexico shouldn't really surprise anybody. Minnesota, especially after the whole ICE situation, bad press. Michigan, this might surprise some people. A lot of people think this is going to be really competitive. I might be completely wrong. In the midterms, has a tendency to overperform for Democrats, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was a 6-7 point state. But then again, it could go the other way. We just got to wait and see. New Jersey was a little bit closer in the presidential election than a lot of people expected. And I'm throwing New Hampshire into this as well, a typical swing state. Kind of like Minnesota, gets really close if there's a bad Democratic candidate. And that is all my likely Democratic states. We're going to jump over to the Republicans. Montana. I think this could be like a Virginia scenario where it could go safe to lean. I mean, it really just depends on the mood up there. South Carolina, ditto. I would expect Republicans to do better than worse. Florida. Democrats have just flubbed. I mean, after 2018, it's just been downhill and downhill really fast. Wouldn't be surprised if this was safe, honestly, at this point in time. Due to societal norms here and past elections, and we're going to keep Florida as likely. I do not think Democrats are going to win at all in Montana, South Carolina, Florida. I'm just talking about margin. And then my home state of Kentucky, I'm going to say it's going to be between 12 to 15, but could go into safe. I live here. I know what it's like, especially in an off year. We've had a senator we haven't liked in years. Thank God he's retiring, even though we might vote for him here and there, and he still gets elected. But GOP bench, it's not great. The Dem bench, they've ran and ran and ran, and I don't think the Dems at all are going to win in Kentucky. I think it might be something to watch. Just the Dem might get 40%, but that's it. You know, could easily be safe. Kansas, it's got this weird track record of being in and out. We're going to go lean for now, then that's all we're going to say about it. So that leaves us with the states that everybody's talking about: Alaska, Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, Iowa, Ohio, Maine. I'm going to go ahead and crush the Democrats' hopes. I don't think Iowa, I could see this being a 3 to 5, but a 5 to 10. This is something, we got to kind of look at, kind of focus on as we get closer. This is February. So much could happen. But I don't really think they're going to take it here. In 2020, Democrats thought Iowa, they thought they were going to get it. They thought they had a real chance. Didn't happen. And that makes me say the same thing about Maine. I know Plattner, if the Democrats have a pathway to the Senate, it has to go through Maine. I get that. But she's always doubted. People think she's going to lose, and she does. If there's any year I think she's going to lose, it's going to be this one, but Maine. And as you see, we have kind of, I didn't announce it, but we've switched to the wing category. I would not be surprised if Collins eked this out by 1 to 2%. I know everybody's saying it's going to flip. Hello, I was around in 2020. We all thought it was going to flip too. So we just got to wait until we get closer. Ditto for Texas. There's so much to talk about in Texas. Texas needs its own video. This is our first video that we're publishing. Ultimately wins the Democratic nomination and the Republican nomination. Very craziness going on in Texas. I do not think Democrats are going to get it. I'm sorry. I know Beto overperformed the polls in 2018, but Texas, it's just hard for the Dems. In Ohio, Sherrod Brown, I know he's popular. He did way better than President Trump. Again, same thing with Texas, same thing with Maine. A lot of money, a lot of focus, a lot of time. It's going to be in here. They're going to be close. As of right now, here in February, I do not think Sherrod Brown's going to pull it off. And Ohio's another state, just like Maine, just like Texas, that there's a whole video that can be made about it. In Alaska, falls in that same category. Mayor Patola is the only candidate who can win this race. If not, I don't think we would be talking about it. You know, I'm not saying these lean states aren't going to. One of them might fall to the Dems. Out of all these so far, Maine is the most likely. And then probably Alaska, then Ohio. But I don't think she can pull it off. But if there's any Alaskan that can. And in these last two states, I'm giving to the Dems. Georgia and the North Carolina. Roy Cooper won when Trump was on the ballot. And in Georgia, you know, those past little races they've had there this year, well, not this year, but last year in 2025, Dems did good. Compared to the nation as a whole, I mean, Kamala Harris did improve her margin in the Atlanta metro, but she did lose across the state more. And I don't think there'll be a higher propensity of rural voters this midterm versus city dwellers. So I think it's going to help John Ossoff more. So this is my map right now. Democrats pick up 1 seat. I know that's what Democrats don't want to hear. And I know Republicans will be like, well, we're going to get North Carolina and Georgia too. You know, it's back and forth. Thankfully, I'm an independent. I'm a moderate. I vote about split ticket, 50-50. Any of these states that are lean, I think could go either way. Maine, Ohio, North Carolina, Georgia, Texas, Alaska. And that's what everybody on the internet will tell you. We might get some surprises. But this is only February. So we will see. But this is my prediction. The GOP remains in control of the Senate and loses 1 seat. And that comes from North Carolina. Thank you for watching. Join in again, and we'll talk about these individual states, and then we'll give some updates this year as we go down the road.